One thing we know is that consumers love potato chips. The other thing that we know is consumers are always looking for the next best potato chip. So to my left is Phil Guillermo? Gusmano, I'm sorry. I need to put my glasses on, from Better Made Chip.
Yep.
So you guys have been around almost 100 years, 1930s.
Yep, since 1930.
So what makes your chip, the best chip that's out there?
Well, so we use quality
And
ingredients.
in fact, if you can move in a
Yeah.
little bit, because they're getting louder, so we're going to have to talk up.
Not a problem. We use quality ingredients, quality potatoes grown in the great United States. Nothing but the best quality in all our oil, our salt, and our seasonings. And we give consistent product to our customers.
So let's talk about what makes the potato a better potato first, because that's the main ingredient.
Sure.
What kind of potatoes are you using, and then what kind of oil are you using?
So we are using mostly Michigan potatoes. We use potatoes grown in Michigan that are specifically bred for chip processing. Some of the examples might be an Atlantic, a Snowden, or a La Mocha.
And what do you look for? Do you look for a higher starch, lower starch, higher sugar, lower sugar?
Well, you want a lower sugar, so when it fries nice and white. You'd like a higher gravity, which means there's just more solids in the potato, and it gives it a nice crunch.
Okay, and what kind of oils are you using?
We use exclusively cottonseed oil. So our customers are used to eating our potato chips with cottonseed oil, and since longer than I've been there, they've been using cottonseed oil.
And why cottonseed versus canola oil that I see in a lot of chips these days?
Well, cottonseed oil gives you a nice neutral taste. So when you're eating the chip, you actually get to taste the flavor of the potato.
Which is probably, the most important thing that we can look for. So, Chris, you partner with them, and one of the things we've talked a lot here about in the Eye and the Potato Expo is how this industry really works together, between a brand, between a farmer, between a manufacturer. So what makes Heat and Control's products that much better that, the best made potato chip in the country wants to use you?
Well, one of the nice things is about our company is we're really focused and zeroed in on snack and chips. We do a lot of other food industry equipment, but we're really focused in on the snack. So we're almost co-collaborators with them as they R&D their product. We have to keep pace with that. And much like what's going on here at the show with all this data mining that they're looking at, we've got to be able to get that same data out of the equipment and be able to give it to him to be able to apply it to make a better product, have better yield. And so our focus has always been create good quality and deliver it promptly to the packaging equipment, which we also furnish too.
So being here for 2 days and talking to a lot of technology people, a lot of data people, I've heard a lot about data from the farm, from drones, from tractors. You're the first guy who said to me data from the manufacturing equipment itself. So what does that look like? Is it the number of chips per hour? Is it the temperature that you're frying with? Give me some specifics here.
Well, right now it's almost everything you just spoke of. The analytics on a fryer and being able to create the best yield product or the best chip coming out. We look at things like moisture, the temperature between the inlet oil coming in and the exit oil. We look at the seasoning application, but a lot of it is because of the new capability on the automation side. We're now digitizing his knowledge and putting it into the equipment. So as these operators and next generation operators that come in, they're building it to the way he would like it to be built or produced.
I'll never forget when I was in high school, I worked at Howard Johnson's on the Garden State Parkway in New Jersey. And when I started, basically the two products that they fried were fried clams and French fries. And you would burn them or not cook them enough and so on. And we were elated, I think this was my senior year, that they finally put in fryers that were programmed that it would automatically lift the basket up. And we thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Right.
But you're going well beyond that, where you're talking about the seasonings and all this. So what's the kind of technology behind that can calculate the seasonings on a potato chip?
Well, we use a lot of things that actually weigh the product. We weigh the product in flight, and that technology has just come so fast forward that we can get really good data on the weight, and then we look at the weight of the seasoning that's going and being applied to that. And then you look at the equipment downstream that also give you data on what was produced. You tune that all together like a nice guitar, and you can really get that system humming very well and create the kind of seasoning percentage he wants on his chip.
So Phil, how are you using that data in real time in day-to-day operations?
So we're able to see in real time what our application rate is. And really, for the seasoning, you look at the example that he gave, we're able to determine a percentage coverage that we want to have applied to that chip. We're able to dial that in, and then we know with good confidence that we are putting on that correct percentage. And it really helps with your costing model, because if you're putting too much seasoning on, you're paying a premium. If you're under seasoning, your customers aren't happy.
Right. And it's a no-win situation. So I'm not sure who this is addressed to, and maybe both. So when I look at certain chips, not yours, because unfortunately I haven't tasted yours, but I look at certain chips that are flavorful, that do have seasoning. A lot of the seasoning winds up at the bottom of the bag and not on the chip. How do we fix that? How do we keep the seasoning on the chip? Because that's where I want it. I don't want it on the bottom of the bag, whether it's popcorn or chips or.
I really can't speak to that because we don't seem to have that problem. But
okay,
maybe you've addressed it with some other people.
And maybe you don't have that problem because of him.
That's a great possibility.
So how do we keep that all together in the product?
Well, the technology has gotten a lot better on how we apply that actual seasoning to the chip and when we apply it to the chip. And actually, you wouldn't believe, but the tumble drum that actually turns where that seasoning is being applied, how that tumble drum is actually manufactured is key to how well not only do we apply that seasoning, but we can get that chip to flip over a couple times and absorb that seasoning.
And without breaking.
Yeah, those are the two key things with the tumble drum.
Yeah, I will tell you that the design that they have put together on their seasoning application process is second to none. They have really worked on it, and they have a seasoning system that they should be proud of.
So hopefully you've locked him in to not sell to any of your competitors.
Oh, I'm sure he sells to anybody that wants one, but it's a quality product for sure.
Okay. Well, Phil, thanks so much. Thank you for being with us at the Potato Expo. Chris, keep up the great work.
Thank you.
And I am
Send
going
us some Jersey corn.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, I'm not in Jersey anymore.
Oh.
I'm in California now, Santa Monica, California.
Do you miss the Jersey corn?
I go back in the summer, and I'll tell you, there's one restaurant. Are you in Manhattan a lot?
No.
Okay.
I'm out of Dallas.
Okay. So in Manhattan, and I spend a good amount of time in the summer in Manhattan because of family and so on. There's a restaurant on the Upper West Side called Santa Fe. It's a Mexican, Tex-Mex kind of restaurant, and they have Jersey corn that's seasoned perfectly with the right amount of butter. So I have my fill. It's great.
See, it sounds like a new potato chip flavor.
Oh my gosh.
Sounds like a new potato chip.
I wonder
flavor.
what a Jersey corn and turning it into street corn would taste like. Do they do that there at that Mexican restaurant?
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. So hey, just put fills on that flavor.
There you go.
So we're going to be back with our last guest at the Potato Expo, John Keeling, the CEO of the National Potato Council and the creator of the Potato Expo, for a wrap up of this year's 11th annual Potato Expo. So stay tuned, more coming up.